Did I scare you? Yeah, you weren't expecting the video to start with such a scary noise. Hey everybody, welcome back to another freaking epic podcast. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Today's episode is all about my obsession of collecting. Right. So to start off this podcast episode, I just want to preface that I don't have any diagnosed neurodivergency. I might, allude to me having OCD or ADHD or something like that, but I have not been diagnosed with anything like that, so that is not the case. I don't actually have anything like that. However, my dad does, so it runs in the family, so it's more than likely, but I just probably will never be bothered to get it diagnosed. Anyway, I love collecting things. I'm sure if you have watched the channel at all, really, you can kind of notice that. A lot of my videos are going to every overground station, going to every London borough in one day, doing everything of this, everything of that, you know? I mean, the whole of going underground was me going to every tube station on the TfL network. And it's just something I don't know, it scratches something in my brain, just doing everything of something. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, yeah, it's kind of really awesome. I just find it really interesting going to everything of just one thing. And I don't know where it really sort of comes from. I used to collect the match attacks when I was a lot younger. Definitely year 4, year 5, I had a big match attacks collection, especially the World Cup football stickers. That was one of my favourite ever things to collect. And I collected a bunch of them for the 2014 Brazil. Was it Brazil? I think it was Brazil World Cup. Yeah, it was Brazil. And I remember collecting everything and getting so excited about when I got a new sticker. And I was reminded of that recently, and it is the Euros coming up. So, what I have been doing over the past 2 weeks at this point, I have been collecting Euro stickers. That is my favourite thing to do at the moment. It's £1 a packet for 6 stickers, and I think I've probably spent about £50, probably more than that, on stickers over the past 2 weeks. I've got a whole album full of it. I think I've probably got, at this point, over half of the stickers in the book. Right next to me, right now, I have an entire stack of just the ones that are repeats. I'll actually take a photo now so we can put that onto the podcast. There we go. That is the amount of stickers that are just the repeats. Yeah, so I've been enjoying doing that, and it's brought me back to a simpler time of my childhood, and I've just very much enjoyed doing it. I don't know why I did it. I think I saw an album in a WH Smith's, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I remember doing that when I was very little. And I was just I was going to London at the time, and then every single off license that I saw, I went in, do you have any stickers? They didn't have any stickers. And I realised that they don't really sell them in off licenses anymore. The only place I've found the stickers, the packets of stickers, are WH Smith's, who almost always have the sticker packets, Sainsbury's, and Asda. But, not every Asda and not every Sainsbury's. So it's only select few. But I just have to get lucky, really, whenever I go into a place. But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying doing that. And it's I don't know, it's weird. I've been on a lot of trains recently, and I've just been every time going back and forth from London and out again. I've sat down, I've bought a bunch of stickers in the station, and then just on the train journey, I've just been sticking all of my stickers in. It's been a load of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And I've just been into football recently. Like, I've been way more into football. I mean, I've always been a Chelsea fan. You know, I've been a Chelsea fan since I was born because my dad is. And he always used to watch the football, and I watched the football. It was definitely a big thing when I was like maybe from the ages of 5, I want to say, 5 to maybe 9. There was about 4 years where I sort of followed the football and watched a few matches. And I actually went to some matches in person at Stamford Bridge. But ever since I sort of went to secondary school, I haven't really bothered following Chelsea anymore. Like, sometimes, yeah, I'll sit down and watch a game with my dad, but not seriously. The only time I've really watched any football seriously was, like, following England in the World Cup or the Euros. But, like, recently, I think it's just because I've been away from home and it's a way to connect back to home. I've been just watching games, like, ever since, I want to say, like, Easter, maybe, like late March, early April. I've just been watching almost every game, and it's come up to the end of the season, and Chelsea like did really, really well. I mean, there were a few disappointments here and there, but like just we were doing quite well, and I've actually been getting so into it. I've been following like the news accounts on Instagram. Like recently, we got rid of our manager, so I was following all like the candidates for all the new managers, and I was getting really into it, and I've just been watching every game, and it's coming up to the Euros now, and I'm probably gonna watch all the England games, maybe even some other games as well. And I think it's just, football is such a British thing. It is such a British thing that I feel connected to my country when I watch football, and it's just like I don't know how to explain it, because you look at me and you don't think, oh, that guy watches football. I don't think so, but I do enjoy watching football, and I can get very worked up when I'm watching football. I am not one to shy away from celebrating. Recently, Chelsea was in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is a league of only British football teams, and it's a big trophy, and it's not the Premier League. It's different to that because it's a knockout league. But recently Chelsea was in the semi-finals against Manchester City, who were the reigning champions of the FA Cup at the time, and also the Premier League, and they're probably the best team in the entire country at the moment, and we lost to them, but I thought we had scored a goal, and in the middle of a beer garden, surrounded by quite a few people, I celebrated, and the ball did not go into the goal. It went behind the goal, but from the angle that I was watching it at, it kind of looked like it went into the goal, and I celebrated. I was the only one who did. I got out of my chair, and I left. I went to the toilet for about 10 minutes, because I was so embarrassed. Everyone just turned to look at me. Oh my god, it was horrible. But yeah, I mean, I've just been watching the football, really, and I actually bought a Chelsea shirt recently, and it was the shirt from when I used to watch the football. I think it's the 2013 to 14 jersey. It's got the Samsung branding on it, and it's great. I can't wait. I think it actually arrived today, so I'm going to go and collect it after I finished recording this. But yeah, no, I really like football. That's not what this podcast episode is about. That was a big tangent, but I just needed to sort of talk about that because I really, really enjoy doing that sort of thing. But yeah, collecting. I never played Pokemon, right? We never had a DS growing up. I never had any of that sort of thing. No Nintendo games whatsoever.
But I feel like if I played Pokemon when I was younger, I would have just I would have stopped. I would never have stopped playing because in 2016, when Pokemon Go was a thing, I loved it. I could not get enough of Pokemon Go. And then I stopped playing for maybe a year, 2 years, and then I came back. And I've sort of been just casually playing Pokemon Go ever since. So I've got about 4, 5 years worth of Pokemon on my phone. Granted, I haven't actually played recently. I don't think I've not played for maybe 5 months. So maybe I get back into that for summer. And summer's always a good time to play Pokemon Go. You just kind of Pokemon Go is a summer thing. I remember 2016. That was the best summer ever. Me and my mate Chris at the time, his name is still Chris. He wasn't Chris at the time. He was my mate at the time. We went out to our local park, almost every day, and we just played Pokemon Go. We didn't stop playing Pokemon Go. It was so good. I loved the summer of 2016. Amazing. What a time to be alive. Anyway, Pokemon Go is great because I can just sit in my room sometimes and just catch Pokemon. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say. Skylanders as well. Skylanders is another collecting thing, although expensive as fuck. Very expensive. I remember Skylanders Trap Team we got on the Xbox in 2015, and I remember going to Toys R Us maybe once every 2 weeks and going straight to the Skylanders section to see if they had any new Skylanders, and I would always be like, Mum, can we buy it? Can we buy it? And I always ended up getting the Skylander. I have loads of Skylanders that I just don't know what to do with now because, they don't really sell on eBay, I'd imagine. They probably sell for £1, most of them. Also, some of them are broken. The way some of the figurines are, created, a lot of them are just, snapped and kind of... They're not cheap, I wouldn't say, but, they are kind of cheap. But Skylanders is really cool, by the way. If you've never heard of Skylanders... I realise this entire section has made no sense to you so far. But Skylanders is a game on consoles that you plug a portal into. So, with a cable, you plug a little, portal into your console, and then you have these little figurines with some sort of... I don't know how it works, but some sort of chip in them that when you put them onto the portal, they appear in game. It's awesome. Lego Dimensions was also really cool, by the way. Lego Dimensions was awesome. I remember playing that a whole bunch. Lego games in general, Lego video games, very, very cool. The best part about Lego Dimensions is that you got to build the minifigures and then actually put them onto the portal. And then if you didn't if you really liked the minifigure, you could just take that off. You could put the chip on still, and you could just take the minifigure off and play with it. That was really cool. But yeah, no, I really loved Skylanders. That was really fun. I think I've got max levels on almost all of the characters. I remember at one point I I took some... It wasn't... I asked for them from my friend Simran. Took some Skylanders Giants from him. No, not Giants, Swap Team. If you want those back at any point, just let me know, Simran. I don't mind giving them back. No, they were Giants. It was the Giants, yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Skylanders. That was really cool. Very much enjoyed Skylanders. More recently, not recently, this was 2020 maybe, I went to Cornwall in 2020. I made a whole video about it. And in Cornwall, we had quite a few cans of Pringles. As a family, we eat a lot of snacks. Pringles just so happens to be one of our favourites. So we were getting through quite a few cans of Pringles because we were on holiday, we were enjoying ourselves. COVID was not happening yet. And yeah, it's just, we really loved Pringles. And I took some Pringle cans into my room. And I had about 5 Pringle cans in my room. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun because I have like the different colours. So I took them all home with me in my suitcase. I've got no idea why. And I put them into my room. And then I didn't stop. Every time we would have Pringles, I just took the can and put it into my room. I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until I had what some would argue as a fuck ton of Pringles. I had a bunk bed, and on the top bunk there was like a cupboard that you could only access via the top bunk, and you could open up the cupboard and it would be full of Pringle cans. I don't know if I have a photo of this. I doubt I do, to be honest, but there was a lot of them. And then when we moved temporarily, I put them all away. I put them in a box and shipped them off to my grandparents' house. And they stayed there in the garage for like 7 months. But I started a new one. I started a new collection in my new room. And then I didn't stop there either. And then eventually, once I moved back into the house, they both came together to create what was too many Pringles. Way too many Pringles. And I stopped at that point. I did stop, thank God, because otherwise I don't think I would be able to walk around my room without stepping on a Pringle can. But I have a drawer of Pringle cans, right? But in the drawer is Pringle cans that are all unique. None of them are the same in there. And then next to it, I have a cardboard box. In that box is so many cans of Pringles. They're all of these cans are empty, by the way. I just want to point that out. They are all empty. I don't know if anyone was thinking that they were full of Pringles. They're not. They're all empty. Don't worry. So in that box, there is so many cans of Pringles, like an incredible amount. And then also, behind my wardrobe, there's a little tiny crack. And in there is a hammer, what could be described as a hammer, made entirely out of prawn cocktail and original Pringle cans, and then also a staff of the sour cream and onion. Sorry, I'm looking at the Pringle can next to me. Sour cream and onion, the green flavour. A very long pole staff of that. I also made a video at the start of 2022 where I was going to make a Christmas tree out of Pringle cans. And yeah, I just have a lot of Pringle cans. Also, recently, I've been getting quite a few of them. They've got them branded for the Euros, bringing it back to the Euros. And they've got like flags of different countries on them, and I've been cutting out the flags and I've been keeping them. Right now I've got about 6 different countries. I've got Portugal, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, France, and England at the moment. I don't know how many they have, but I think they must have like Switzerland somewhere, Spain. Anyway, I have a lot of Pringle cans, and I still have a lot of Pringle cans, and there's nothing I can ever do about that. I mean, I could throw them all away, realistically, but, I kind of don't want to. It's kind of awesome doing that. Last year, I saw a singular playing card on the floor. I saw a singular playing card on the floor, and I just got it. I took it, and I was like, okay, I'll take this. And then, I want to say only a week later, I found another playing card on the floor. And I put both of them into my wallet. My little Oyster card wallet. It's not an actual wallet, it's an Oyster card wallet. And in that, I've got an 8 of hearts, a 5 of hearts, Queen of Diamonds, 7 of Diamonds, 6 of Clubs, 9 of Spades, Ace of Spades. So I've got seven cards that I've just picked up from different decks. They are all completely different looking. I mean, not completely different looking, but they all have distinct sort of styles. Some of them are more like dead than the others. Some of them are much more destroyed, but they all look kind of cool. And eventually, I will have an entire deck of cards of a random assortment of all sorts. I also recently bought a deck of cards so that I could go around replacing those cards with... So if I found a full deck of cards, I would sneakily replace one card with something from my new deck of cards. And I'll put that in there to replace it. Hopefully no one will ever notice. And then I can add to my collection. There's a whole operation going on here, and it's kind of really awesome. Last year for my birthday, I went to JD Wetherspoons for the first time. I went to the Angel pub in Angel, London, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of okay, but it was cheap, and that's all that mattered. That pub doesn't exist anymore. But a few months later, I went to my proper local Wetherspoons, and I was like, okay, cheap, nice to come here with friends. I'm going to go here when I go to university. Then I went to another one at university. We've got 2 in our town, and I go to those somewhat regularly. At some point, I can't remember what point it was. I'll have to get up my every Wetherspoons counter. It must have been after going to the Moon Underwater in Leicester Square that I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go to Wetherspoons as like a little hobby, because I had a rating system going on at that point. When I went to that one, I was like, okay, this is kind of not a good Wetherspoons. I'm gonna put this down as a 4 out of 10. And after I went to a pub, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna map out every single Wetherspoons ever. Yes. So I went onto Google My Maps. That's one of my favourite things to say. Google My Maps. And I charted out every single Wetherspoons in existence. There's about 700, by the way. This took me over a week to do. And I was just kind of casually doing it. And eventually I had an entire map of every single Wetherspoons in England, in Wales, in Scotland, and in Ireland. I've slowly been ticking some of them off. Like, I've very much enjoyed myself. When I went to Cornwall this year, I went to about 5 in the span of 2 days. I've also, made whole videos about it at this point that I will eventually release, because I'm going to have episodes of going to every Wetherspoons and stuff. Just want to say, I'm not crazy. I just like cheap pints. So, let me go take you through the process of me going into a Wetherspoons at this point. So, as of the 29th of May, I've been to 30 Wetherspoons. Most of those were within the past 6 months, 5 months even. Most of those were this kind of started in February. February was the month where I started going out of my way to go to Wetherspoons, and I've just been slowly ticking them off. But I will walk into a Wetherspoons, beeline to the bar. First thing, always go straight to the bar. Seats, don't care. Straight to the bar. Excuse me, can I have a pint of Stowford, please? Can I see your ID? Yeah, alright. There you go. Brilliant, thank you. Pint of Stowford, was that? Yeah, thank you. Right, it's £2.39. It's on the machine there. Okay. Beep. And then they go off. Here you go, mate. Thank you. Then I'll go and sit down. Bum, 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 bum. That was a metallic sound because I've got a can of Dr. Pepper next to me. I don't have any glass. Do I have a glass anywhere? No. You're just going to have to deal with an aluminum. What was that? Aluminium. Sorry. I'm so sorry. That was horrible. You're just going to have to deal with an aluminium can. There we go. Wait, no, hang on. No, I don't start drinking just yet. I go and get a menu of the place. I put the menu down, and I take a photo of my pint in front of the menu with the name of the Wetherspoons and, like, the little black and white picture that they have on the menu. Like, so, take the photo. Then I start drinking, and then, usually, I will leave. If I'm with friends, I might get another one. But if I'm by myself, which, to preface, I have been to quite a few of these by myself. It's not as sad as you might think. Doing it by yourself is actually quite fun. I mean, sure, you look sad to other people, but I'm having a great time because I am rating this Wetherspoons after I leave. So I've left, and then I'm gonna... Usually, I will go to the toilet just to, like, have a look at the toilets, but also because I need to go to the toilet. Sometimes the toilets are okay. Sometimes the toilets are bad enough to make the rating go down by 1. Then, once I'm out of the toilet, I will take a good look at the carpet, because every carpet in Wetherspoons are different. And I will just, take it in. Take in the vibe of the Wetherspoons. I'll take in the vibe while I'm having my pint as well. Take in the vibe of the Wetherspoons, and then, once I leave, I will rate it. The average Wetherspoons, I'd say, is a 6 or 7 out of 10. Just in terms of, like, pub vibes. But there are, like, if the Wetherspoons isn't giving me anything, if it's kind of a basic Wetherspoons, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. If it's, like, not a good Wetherspoons at all, it'll go to, like, 2 out of 10. The worst Wetherspoons I've been to so far is a 2 out of 10. The best one is a 10 out of 10. This was quite incredible when I did this. It was like I walked in and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. So I had to give it a 10 out of 10 almost immediately. But anyway, that is what I've been doing recently. I've been going to every Wetherspoons. Well, not quite every Wetherspoons. It would take years for me to go to every Wetherspoons. I mean, in the past 5 months, it's not even been 5 months, it's been 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. In the past 4 months, I've been to, I'm going to say about 25 of my 30 have been in the past 4 months. So it's not going to take too long if I try to go to every Wetherspoons. But then it does require me to start going to, like, Edinburgh. Like, I'm not going to Edinburgh just to go to Wetherspoons. So there will be a certain point where I'm gonna hit, like, a stop. Like, I can't go to any more. Like, they're no longer easily accessible, and that's probably when I'm gonna give it a rest. If I'm ever, like, in the area and there's a Wetherspoons I've never been to, then I'll go for it, of course. But there will be a point where I just have to stop and say, no, don't spend £70 on a ticket to Edinburgh. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. I will go to Edinburgh for fun, absolutely, when I have the time to do that. But I'm not just going to go to Edinburgh to go to Wetherspoons. I will go to Edinburgh to have fun in Edinburgh. Sorry, I just had to convince myself there. But there are also just random places that I would never, like, actually just go to. Like, places in, like, Herefordshire. I'm never going to bother to go there, realistically. But I might do. You never know. Anyway, that is what I've been collecting recently. Football stickers, Wetherspoons, cards. That's sort of what I've been up to, collecting-wise. But I've always just been a collector. You know, tube maps. I have an entire collection of tube maps in my, like, desk drawer. that I just have. That's everything off the top of my head, to be honest. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed me rambling on about football and Weatherspoons and all sorts. And I will see you in the next podcast, depending on when that is. Goodbye.